Hi guys, so my name is Caitlin and today I'm going to be talking about the do's and don'ts of your stunt group, and I am one of the newer people in the P-Dubs Cheer Probs YouTube account. I haven't posted a video yet and this is my first one. So basically I'm just going to be talking about what to do, what not to do. First, I'm going to be talking about your stunt group, and some people don't know what a stunt group is, so I'll explain it. Basically, it's 4 people who are in a group, and one of them is the flyer, which goes up into the air, does stunts, does flips, etc. 2 of the people are bases, which are the people who hold the flyers in place, throw her up in the air. They usually hold her feet, just like this. The back is the person who has the flyer's back, so to speak. They basically help the flyer. They need to have a lot of upper body strength. They need to push the flyer up into the base's hands. They need to have their ankles when they're doing a specific stunt. They need to keep them in place and steady. And they also need to catch them, which is really important. So first I'm going to talk about listening to outside perspective. And this is really important. In my personal experience, I've definitely had incidents, or not really incidents, but issues where I think that, our stunt group is going so high and our flyer is going like really great and everything, and then someone from outside tells me like, you guys really didn't go up that high, I hate to break it to you. And it's really hard to see how high your flyer goes, because the angle that you're at, if you're a base or a back, you're not going to really see how high she goes up. So listen to people who are outside or like watching your stunt group, who are not in your stunt group, because they know better than you do. Honestly, like when you're in the moment and you're lifting your flyer up, you're not going to pay attention to if her legs go in place or whatever. You're going to be focusing on catching her and getting her to the ground safely. It's tough to take criticism well, but you need to, and people are going to critique you, like it's just going to happen, so you need to be prepared for that. So the next thing is, don't give attitude to your stunt group. It's as simple as that, and I know sometimes I do it. Everybody does it. Everybody has their bad days. Everybody has their times of the month where they get a little sassy. Overall, don't be like a rude snob to your stunt group. Like, they're gonna have your back when you need it, and that at the end of the day, that's all that counts. Next thing is, be determined. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people sitting there like, oh, we can't do this, like we can't do this stunt, like I don't understand why it's not working. Be determined. If it's not working out for you, try it again. If something isn't working out in your stunt group, try a new thing. Try to go a little bit lower if your person's shorter than you. Try to raise your arms more if you're an extension and the person has longer arms than you. Try to adjust to like their issues, because sometimes you might be not as tall as them, or you might be a little bit weaker than them, or you might be a little stronger than them. You never know. The next thing I have is, if we have practice, you should not be taking 5-10 minute breaks. It should be a quick 2-minute break, like every 10-20 minutes. This way you kind of just get a break to take some water, to take a chill pill for a little bit. But I don't like to see people like sitting there, because then you lose your momentum, and then when you try to do a stunt again, you're tired. If you just consistently work, you're in the moment, you're doing your stunt, and you just have it. I don't know, personally for me, when I'm doing a stunt, I want to keep doing that stunt until I'm exhausted, and then move on to another stunt, and then maybe take a break in between. Like, I'm not the type of person who like takes a lot of breaks, and it definitely helps. Of course, if you're like dying, of course go sit down, but don't be taking breaks every 5 seconds. That's really aggravating towards your stunt group. If you're not there and they want to do a stunt and you're just sitting there on the sidelines like, I'm tired, I don't feel like doing this, like, you're not going to get anywhere, and chances are that the other stunt groups are going to be doing their stunts and you're going to be sitting there with no stunts, and that's really embarrassing. So yeah. The next thing I have is, if you are in a stunt group and you're repeatedly blaming people for your mishaps or errors, it gets a little annoying. Like, honestly, if you're doing something wrong and you're blaming the other stunt group, how is your stunt group going to feel? Your stunt group is going to feel like a piece of crap if they're sitting there doing the best they can and you're blaming them. They're going to think that they're wrong when they're not wrong and you're actually the one who's wrong. I can't tell you how many times I've seen, oh, you're not holding my foot right, you're not holding this, you're not holding this. You know, they're blaming the stunt group for issues that they need to correct themselves. Sometimes their flyer's form isn't always good, and it's tough to get a good form, obviously. I've never said it was easy, but you can't sit there and consistently blame the bases or the backs or something. Of course, sometimes they might be doing something wrong, but, you know, the flyers could be doing something wrong as well, and so can the bases. Like, we could be doing stuff wrong, like, you know, there's always room for improvement, and just at the end of the day, don't, like, always be consistently negative about it. Don't be like, oh, you didn't hold me the right way. Like, sometimes it's your fault too, so you have to, like, take that into consideration. The next thing is sort of a message to people who aren't doing stunts or just, like, sitting there, they have an injury or, you know, whatever, and they're just sitting at practice. Number one, you should always be trying to look at the stunt groups or the flyers or whatever, because you may never know when your injury is going to heal. I mean, obviously you have an estimate, but if you're back on the team and you're completely lost because you were sitting there on your iPad or your iPhone, like, that just shows how much you didn't care about cheer. If you're screaming about, you know, a specific thing and everybody's gonna come rush over to you, and that's really distracting. You can't be distracting during practice. Everybody's trying to get their own stunt, and you need to be quiet and listen and watch whoever it is that you think you're gonna get the most out of. So just keep in mind that, you know, always to be positive, always to say, you know what, we didn't get that stunt today, you know, we're gonna go back on Tuesday, Wednesday, you know, whatever, and we're gonna get that stunt. Like, I don't care how long it takes, we're gonna get it, and then you feel that much better once you've had this stunt done. The thing is, message to all backs, you really can't be weak. I'm sorry, but it takes a lot of strength and a lot of upper body strength to lift a girl up. And of course, it's hard. It's, you know, really stressful if you're lifting a person your own weight or, you know, maybe heavier than you, and you're lifting them up onto the base's hands. The flyer's feet have to touch the base's hands. So at the end of the day, you're lifting her up and then you're holding her back and then you're catching her. You know, you have to have a great amount of arm strength. Like, if she doesn't get up to the base's hands, it's gonna look really ridiculous when you're out in public and you're doing it for, you know, like a game or something like that. It's really tough to lift a girl like that, but that's all the more reason to do push-ups, to do exercises and stuff like that. Also, bases, like me, like, you have to be incredibly strong to lift a girl. Most of the time you have 50, 60, 70 pounds of weight on either side. So it's difficult. I mean, and sometimes when you're doing one man, you have all their weight onto one side. Of course, there are people helping you, but you really do have to take in consideration that there's another person up there. They're scared sometimes, you know, they're nervous, you know, what if they fall? Like, you gotta have their backs and you gotta carry their weight. That is all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. This wasn't really a rant type of video. It was just like what cheerleaders in general should be doing with their stunt groups. But I just tried to, like, give my view on things and my perspective and stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys soon. Bye! As have